Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening, depending on wherever you are at this moment that you are getting this broadcast. And happy Sunday to everyone. Today is Sunday, the second day of November 2025. I am once more not on my base, but we should be back there sometimes later in the day where we'll have a very, very important broadcast today, as I said, where we'll be talking about the theory of the power elite, because this is going to be very fundamental to our understanding of exactly what is going on in La République du Cameroon, and of course, connecting to the southern Cameroons. That discussion about the theory of the elite will also elucidate and explain too many things that are going on, especially in too many countries in Africa, south of the Sahara. So that conversation is very important. You will go to see how these people develop, how they come about, and you see the overbearing influence they have on our various communities. You grow to understand why exactly the development, the growth, and the prosperity of a lot of African countries, really stagnates. So this is an extremely important conversation, because through the lens of this conversation, you'll be able to interpret the things that will be happening in the days and the weeks coming right ahead, not only in Cameroon, but also in other countries in Black Africa. So just make sure you tune into that particular broadcast. It's going to be somewhere about 8 p.m. West African time this day. And so I am coming here at this point to announce that within the framework of the elections that ended in Cameroon on the 12th of October 2025, that was last Sunday, one of the candidates, who of course is now being referred to as a president-elect, Issa Chiruma Bakari, has made clear he will be sworn in one of these days, although the date of the 6th of November has been advanced as being the day Issa Chiruma Bakari will not only be sworn in, but also the day he will make public the composition of his transition government. Because recall, he went to the election on the banner of a platform that came to an agreement that they were going to do just a transition of between 3 to 5 years, time during which they will put in place functional democratic institutions that will guarantee power alternation in the country going forward. And so, therefore, a close aide to Issa Chiruma Bakari, Alice Nkom, in an interview that was published last night, pointed out that Issa Chiruma Bakari is going to be sworn in as the third president of Cameroon on the 6th of November. And that 6th of November obviously will be on on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. That will be Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025. Don't forget that on that same day, Paul Biya II, the president of Cameroon, is expected, or rather, the outgoing president of Cameroon, and the one who was declared by the Constitutional Council as winner, is also going to be sworn in as president of Cameroon. Now, is this a coincidence, or is this, deliberate? But when I got that information from Alice Nkom, I decided to go, fishing for information. So I set up a series of calls to my sources within the Issa Chiruma Bakari close circles, and the information that I got out of there is that actually Issa Chiruma Bakari's swearing in is being actively prepared, but could come much earlier than the 6th of November. But the date of the 6th of November has been thrown out there through Alice Com, because she argues very clearly that statutorily the new president, should be sworn in, at the latest the 6th of November. And so when she went out to explain why Issa Chiruma Bakari will have to be sworn in, she based her arguments on an argument that had been presented before, that, of course, he enjoys the mandate of the people. The legitimacy has been conferred on him by the people who hold the sovereign right to determine who they want to be their leader. And in tune with that, he's definitely going to be, sworn in on the 6th of November. But like I just pointed out, My sources that are very close to Tchiroma Bakari made clear that the swearing in could take place before the 6th of November. Why not perhaps even this Monday, which is November 3? And at the same time, a government is being formed. Consultations are being made. People are being reached and measures are being taken to ensure that those who will be named in that new government will be in very secure locations. So everything is getting, in place right now. Things are getting clearer. And Tchiroma Bakari appears to be moving from words, from statements to action, because he's persistently said that he is going to defend the will of the people of Cameroon as expressed through the ballot box on the 12th of October 2025. He also made clear that Mr. Paul Biya and his gang have, over the years, election cycle after election cycle, organized a hold-up and, ended up having their way. But this time around, that is definitely not going to happen. They will not have their way. Tchiroma Bakari has insisted. He even says that even if he has to pay the ultimate price to liberate Cameroon, he is definitely going to do that by all means. And the indication of by all means is that one too, that is making life very difficult for the current government of outgoing president or incumbent president Paul Biya. And now on to another piece of information that appears to be making waves on the social media. There are persistent talks on social media on how Tchiroma Bakari has escaped or has fled into exile. You have seen people talking about several countries. Or he ran into Nigeria through Maiduguri and eventually took a flight from Nigeria and is currently in the United States of America. That is what some of the people are saying. Yet others say that Tchiroma Bakari has fled and he has found his way to Niger, where he's hiding in Niger and waiting to, have the opportunity to garner international support so he could return and then see how to, fight for his victory. Then another school of thought is saying outrightly, Tchiroma Bakari is really hiding in Nigeria. So all this information that you're seeing out there, not one of those options is founded. Not one. I mean, absolutely not one. I can say this with authority because I've reached out to my sources, both within the security apparatus of the current Biya government and those who are very close to Tchiroma Bakari, and all of that information is absolutely false. The purpose of that information being thrown around, especially by social media influencers, social media talking heads that are being paid in good numbers by the government of La République du Cameroon to go out there and throw this, because they want to try and set confusion in the minds of the supporters of Tchiroma Bakari, to say he is calling on you all to demonstrate, to organize ghost towns, to follow certain actions left and right, whereas he has personally already fled to safety. That is the purpose of it. To say he has abandoned you and he wants you to put yourself in harm's way while he is getting very seriously protected. But go back to the statement by Tchiroma Bakari himself. Tchiroma Bakari himself made clear that some forces loyal to him, whom he called patriotic forces, who are Republican forces, who have decided to be loyal to state institutions, really not to individuals, assisted him to exfiltrate him from his residence and had taken him to a safe location. And it is from that safe location that Tchiroma Bakari is going to be, releasing videos of his swearing in. From that safe location that Tchiroma Bakari is going to be releasing the names of members of his transitional government. It is from that safe location that Tchiroma Bakari is going to be directing all the actions that he wants the people to take. Now, where is that safe location? That is $1 million question. That is what is, rocking social media right now. I will definitely disappoint everyone who is thinking that Tchiroma Bakari has left Cameroon. No, Tchiroma Bakari has not left Cameroon. Issa Tchiroma Bakari is in Cameroon. Issa Tchiroma Bakari is in Cameroon, and the government of Cameroon knows that very well. I mean, the Cameroon security intelligence and other security services, they know very well that Issa Tchiroma Bakari is in Cameroon. Some of them who spoke to me just about an hour ago made clear to me Issa Tchiroma Bakari does not have any intention, any intention of fleeing from Cameroon. And so he is right there in the northern regions of Cameroon. Now, the challenge that the Cameroon government has, that the Biya government has right now, the issue they have now is they are finding it difficult to explain to anyone how Issa Tchiroma Bakari, who was literally under house arrest with about 4-5 layers of security around his residence, with even snipers posted on rooftops around his house, could manage to leave his house without being tracked. This is not the first time Issa Tchiroma Bakari has done that. On the 12th of October, when Issa Tchiroma Bakari went and cast his vote and returned to his residence, there were plans and instructions from Atanga Ponji and Ferdinand Gongo in Yaoundé for Issa Tchiroma Bakari to be arrested immediately he returns. In fact, they even felt that they were going to arrest him at the polling stations. Once he finished voting, they pick him up from the polling stations. Again, internal security sources of La République du Cameroun, the same ones who are serving with Paul Biya, leaked out all this information to Issa Tchiroma Bakari and worked with Issa Tchiroma Bakari to confuse even guys of the intelligence service, the members of the DJRO, the elements of the DJRO who were in Garwa, to make sure that they will locate Issa Tchiroma Bakari when he's leaving his house, when he's going to the polling station, when he casts his vote, and know what to do next. They were defeated. They were unable to do that. And when he got to his residence, they knew they were going to attack that residence later in the day and pick him up. But while they were still in all of those thoughts and all not, Issa Tchiroma Bakari drove out right behind them. They trailed him. He confused them. They lost track of him, and Issa Tchiroma Bakari disappeared. Now they made all the noise. But days after, Issa Tchiroma Bakari showed up in his residence in Garwa. So this is not the first time. Now some of them are advancing the theory of Issa Tchiroma Bakari possessing now some supernatural powers that enable him to appear and disappear. That is why he can go in and go out without their forces identifying that this is Bakari moving out, or this is Bakari coming in, or this is what is happening. So they are now attributing that to voodooism. For an occultic system that is functioning on basis of black magic, on basis of esoteric powers, to say that someone has powers that appear to be more than theirs, that enable him to go in and out while they are watching with their eyes wide open, is a clear indication of defeat. Because as I speak, Yaoundé is panicking. As I speak, there is confusion. Because Issa Tchiroma Bakari has been very methodical by announcing that there are a lot of members of the current Biya government who are still sitting there in Yaoundé that have called him to congratulate him on his brilliant election and have expressed support and have committed themselves to helping him all the way and are urging him on. This is huge. This is very big. And this has set too much suspicion among all those who are still sitting there in Yaoundé now as members of the Biya government. There is a lot of suspicion. First, because the uncertainty that is among them now. No one knows who will stay, who will go. No one even knows who will form the new government. Because from all indications, it's not Paul Biya who's going to form a government. Because Paul Biya himself has been unable to form a government since the last one that he formed. I guess that was in 2019. Paul Biya has been unable to form a new government. Several times he's attempted to change Some people in the government, it has not worked. Even some members of government died, like the one of Mines that died. No, has not been replaced. You notice that even when Issa Tchiroma Bakari resigned, Beluba Magari resigned, the prime minister had to go somehow to designate or pick out someone in the government to also play an interim role at those ministries. So this is the situation where we are right now in La République du Cameroon. Issa Tchiroma Bakari has not left Cameroon. Issa Tchiroma Bakari is in the northern regions. It's very embarrassing for Yaoundé. Very embarrassing for Atanga Ponji, who has been making Jira Jira power and swearing on some false bravado that false certain false reviendra à la loi, that he will be captured very quickly and will be thrown in jail to rot there for a very long time. Now it's got to that point where it's clear in their minds that they are not likely to have access to Issa Tchiroma Bakari the way they thought. And so another objective of throwing this whole nonsense out there is to try and see how they can derail the ghost towns announcement that Issa Tchiroma Bakari made. We have seen the governor of the littoral, we have seen the divisional officers, we have seen the SDO for Vuri and others going out there. I mean, yesterday Sunday, they were busy in the neighborhood begging people to open their shops. They were busy in the neighborhood begging people not to observe the the ghost town orders. But there's an element of this that sounds to me more or less like stupidity. Because why they are sending all these calls, begging people not open your shops, we will assure your security, the audios that are circulating out there on social media from the forces of law and order, do not reassure the people to open their shops. Oh yes, you have audios from forces of law and order telling people don't dare come out. If you come out, anything can happen to you because Ambazonian forces from the southern Cameroons have already made their way into Douala, and so it's going to be complicated. In the East region, they are telling them that rebel forces that escaped from the East, from the Central African Republic and arrived in the East region as refugees are now very active. And some policewoman was even explaining how they manhandled about 10 of them, beat them up very well. Some police officers ended with broken ribs and are in hospital receiving treatment. And they were warned that if they ever showed up there again in police uniform, they were going to be thoroughly manhandled. While you are getting all these audios out there, you expect that the people will heed to what the mayors, the administrators are telling them and go out to the streets. Please, if you are a Southern Cameroonian, if you are an Ambazonian, and you are based in Douala or based in any of the cities of La République du Cameroon, do the needful. Respect the ghost towns. Stay in your house. Stay in your house. Don't go put yourself in harm's way. Stay in your house. That's the safest place to stay now. I had previously urged our people to leave the towns and cities of La République du Cameroon while it was still possible. Now, if you are trapped there, there's no point of me saying, I told you. Rather, the point now is seeing how you play safe. And at the least opportunity, when you notice that movements have resumed, even just for 2 days, make sure you vamoose before things become bad. Because that situation in La République du Cameroon is not going to get better. It's only going to move from bad to worse. And decay from bad to worse. You see, life is already getting very challenging now because logistic vehicles from the northern parts are no longer coming to the southern parts, nor are the logistical vehicles, that's the trucks from the southern part, being able to move out to the northern parts. That situation is already creating a lot of economic hazard because you see the prices of goods, of goods, especially those that are brought in from the northern regions. I mean, the prices are already going up seriously and affecting even other goods. I was talking to someone in Yaoundé today who told me that a kilogram of meat that was selling for 3,000 was already selling for 3,500 2 days ago. And today, this Sunday, they're already selling at 3,800. And if the situation does not improve within the next 1 week, it will get to a point where that same kilogram of meat will sell at about 7,000 and you may not even have it when you have all the money. Because beef comes basically from the northern regions into the center. These are things that you need to pay careful attention to. There's so much going on, just so much going on. And so, my dear people, of the southern Cameroon, my dear people of Ambazonia, trapped in the Republic du Cameroon, play safe. Stay home. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Stay safe. So Issa Tchiroma Bakari is going to be sworn in, and we're moving out towards the specter of two governments in La République du Cameroon. Two governments. Like I said, I'll be back on this platform when it will be 8 p.m. Central African time. It will still be 8 p.m. West African time. And at that time, it will be 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time with this very, very important conversation on the theory of the power elite. You need to listen to this, or you need to be part of this discussion, because it will help you understand the things that are going to be happening. When they'll be happening, you'll be recognizing them. When they'll be happening, you'll be recognizing them, and you'll be know exactly how to play safe. So, my dear people, we have to stay on the alert. Thank you very much for your very kind attention. Again, my name is John Akuro. Do have a wonderful Sunday.